Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with a very exciting video because this is going to be my gender reveal. As you can see, the video is currently black and white because I don't want to reveal quite yet what the gender of our baby is going to be. So my plan today is to answer a bunch of questions I asked you guys on Instagram and on YouTube. So ask me some questions so I can talk you through those. And then on top of that, I will of course do my makeup, and I will be doing either a blue or a pink eyeshadow look, and then judging from what I'm wearing, that will reveal the gender of little one. So that is my plan today, and I'm going to jump straight into it because again I have quite a few questions and I think there's going to be quite a lot to talk through. But before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So I started off by priming my lid. I'm just using a white concealer. That's usually what I use as my eyeshadow primer on a daily. So while I blend this out and start the eyeshadow look, I'm going to start with the first question. So the first question is, do you have any name ideas? And then similar to that is, second question was just, do you have any names in mind? So yes, we do. We have not set a name quite yet. One thing, like with the gender, obviously I'm not going to say quite yet what it is, but we kind of are hoping, I mean, we would have been absolutely happy either way, but afterwards we did say, both me and Mike, we're kind of leaning towards 51% of what it is. If we, if someone forced us to pick which one we would prefer, that would have been it. So we're both very happy, of course. But the only negative thing about this specific gender is that we do not have a name set, or we're having a more difficult time deciding on a name, because the names for the other gender, we did have two top favorites that we were like pretty set on. Either we were going to decide on one or see what the baby looked like and then decide from there. But yeah, with how everything turned out, it's harder now because the list we have for this specific gender is much longer. But we do have some names in mind, but we won't be sharing the name or like, what names we're considering until the baby's born. Continue on with the name questions. We have name types completely off the table, like virtual names or family names, etc. So for me personally, the only thing that is really off the table for me is super common names. I do not want something that's super common. It doesn't necessarily mean I want something like that's like very unique, like something that people would, not really recognize as a name or something like that. Of course, that's very individual from person to person, so maybe the names that I'm considering to some people are like that, but I want something that's a bit more of a unique name. I don't want something that is, again, like super common, ideally not having, 5 other with the same name in their year in school and stuff like that. So that's like the main thing for me that is off the table. I would say also, just for my partner, I think anything like super religious would probably be off the table, because my partner is, he loves religion. He actually like read a lot of religious books about religion, stuff like that. He loves learning about it, but he is like personally an atheist, so I feel like he would not want to have a religious name just for the sake of, he doesn't want them to be like, people to assume that they're religious, if that makes sense. Even though I'm sure that if our baby ends up being very religious, we're going to support them no matter what. It's not like we're anti-religion. It's just, I think because of that reason, that's also off the table. So like, again, super religious names. But apart from that, those two things, I think any name really is considered. I also don't really like family names, in the sense of, again, a lot of the names in my family and in his family are quite common. But I would be absolutely fine, like, using a family name, maybe like in a different way, so like a more unique version of that name, stuff like that. So nothing really in that sense. The next question is, will you make your child learn your native language? So I think a lot of people on my channel already know, but I am Swedish. Obviously we live in London, so the kid will be born here and learning English, in the daily. Our plan right now is to stay here. Who knows, maybe in the future, you never know what's gonna happen. But for now, the plan is to stay in the UK, at least for, you know, the beginning of the child's life. But I'm 100% gonna teach them Swedish. My plan is to talk Swedish at home, and have them be fluent in that too. I know children are like sponges. I actually used to be a pair and a nanny, and in the second family I was in 2 different families where I was a nanny. The kids were half French, half Swedish. So they lived in England, spoke French because the mom was French and then the dad was Swedish, and the dad traveled a lot, so they wanted a Swedish-speaking nanny, which is where I came in. And they, like, you know, they were fluent in all 3 languages. The middle child, who was 3, even she kind of understood everything Swedish. She preferred to speak English to me, but I think like she understood everything I said in Swedish. So kids are like sponges that way, and I know that if I speak it at home, they're really gonna pick it up. So I'm 100% again gonna teach them Swedish as well. The next question is, how are you feeling? And I am feeling pretty good. I would say that this is like the best I've been feeling in the pregnancy so far. I feel great. I have mentioned before that I had a lot of migraines in the first trimester leading into like the second trimester. And that has definitely subsided now. I don't get them like almost at all. And I feel like if I don't drink enough water, they still come, but not to the same level as they were before. So that's definitely subsided, and I feel like I got my energy back for the most part. Some days I'm still very tired. I feel like I check out from the day quite early still. But comparing it to how it was in, again, the first kind of trimester and the first, I guess, couple weeks of the second trimester, I feel much better now and honestly feel great. I'm not too big yet, and that is like super uncomfortable. I do get out of breath very easily still, and I feel like if I like run to a train or something like that, I do get kind of out of breath from that, and then it's like my lungs burn if I'm like switching on my commute and stuff like that. So that is something that is still annoying, but overall feeling pretty good. Nothing to complain about if I'm being frank. Then we have a question regarding telling our family. I did mention this briefly in my announcement video, but it is, did you tell your family in person or digitally? So we actually told our family over Christmas. My family were planning already to come to the UK and celebrate with my partner's family, so we were all together and we told them all in person, which was really, really lovely. So yeah, we did tell them in person. Everyone was there, and it was great. So the next question after that is, what was your family's and friends' reaction? They were very happy. I think they were also very surprised, if I'm being honest. I mean, they have kind of mentioned that they thought it would happen, but I don't think they were expecting it, also tell it now, which is again obviously very, very sweet because we were able to surprise them with it. And similar with like friends, everyone has been very, very happy. I haven't had like a bad reaction at all. I mean, not that I think anyone would do that, but yeah, so far everyone's been very supportive, very happy, have been wanting to know everything about it, and yeah, having a lot of support, which is of course nice. The next question on the list is, love to know nursery decoration theme and maternity fashion. So regarding the nursery theme, I do have some like ideas, which I actually decided on very early on. So the room I'm filming in now is going to end up being like the nursery. They are going to sleep with us for the first little bit, so you know, I don't think they're going to sleep in here, but this is going to be like the nursery and eventually turn into like the kids' room. So I will pop up some pictures on the screen. I can put in this corner here what kind of style I'm going for. So it's like this kind of like sage green, which I love. We both love green, both me and Mike. And I just love this style. So probably like a sage green with like more wooden details. That will probably be the style that I'm going for, and we are planning to start painting and prepping for painting in here soon. So over the next couple of weeks, obviously months, you will definitely see the background in my videos change as well. Then for maternity fashion, honestly haven't really bought too much yet. What I've been wearing is mainly just dresses. I feel like dresses have been super comfy for me. So that's kind of what I've been gravitating towards. So like, you know, tights because we are still in winter, and then flowy dresses, or like even, you know, slightly tighter dresses to show up the little bump that I have. But that's kind of what I've been going for. Jeans aren't really comfortable for me anymore. And then at home I've been wearing more, you know, like comfy clothes, maternity leggings, things like that. So that's like my maternity fashion. Nothing like too, you know, intense, I would say. I'm not going to spend too much time on, like, not time, sorry, money on maternity fashion, just because, you know, it's only a limited time and I love wearing dresses anyway. So I'm going to try to wear the dresses that I have, of course, as far as I can. And then if I do buy stuff, I think I will still try to stick to things that I can maybe wear afterwards too. So that is my plan for that. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that eyeshadow look for now. I'm going to switch over to doing my base while I answer some more questions. So question number 9 is, any cravings yet? So I've had some very specific cravings during each pregnancy, someone's saying. So for me, I haven't had any like crazy cravings. I have definitely had some cravings, but nothing again too crazy. I would say that I had a weird craving where I wanted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It's nothing really that I ever eaten before. I might have tried it, even though I'm not sure if I actually ever had. But I just wanted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or like peanut butter and strawberry jam sandwiches. That sounded amazing to me, and I ate it. I ate it every day for lunch for like a week and a half, until the bread loaf ran out. And then, you know, a couple of days went past. I stopped, you know, eating it because we ran out. And then a couple days after running out, my partner was like, oh, should I buy you some more bread so you can make more peanut butter jelly sandwiches? And I was like, no, that sounds disgusting to me now. So I had that, which was always a craving because I haven't wanted it since. I mean, now I feel like I could eat it again. But yeah, straight after eating it, you know, constantly every day, it just completely felt disgusting to me, which makes me think it was a craving. And then on top of that, I wanted apples a lot, like pink lady apples. It had to be pink lady, but I really wanted like pink lady apples for a while. I still have some in my fridge now. So that's like the main things really. So like, I guess more fruity things, but nothing too intense, nothing that I've been wanting like every day. And now I eat mostly like my typical diet, I would say. So again, nothing too intense there. Then someone asked, what's the most unexpected experience during your pregnancy? Something you never heard of or thought would happen to you. So I think she also mentioned that she remembers me mentioning the migraines, for example. And yes, migraines was something that I wasn't aware that could happen in pregnancy. And I do get like minor migraines sometimes, like before being pregnant, but yeah, it was like not very fun. So that's something that I of course didn't expect, but definitely still manageable. Apart from that, I mean, I feel like I have always wanted to be a mum since I was like, as long as I can remember. I remember being like 10 years old, wanting to grow up just so I can have a child. That's like my life. And then obviously I did grow up and I realized that, you know, I wasn't ready yet and I wanted to experience other things first, but I always knew that I wanted to be a parent. So I've always been very fascinated about pregnancy content and birth vlogs and loads of things like that, because I always knew I wanted it and I always been, again, fascinated by it. So I feel like a lot of things I already knew about pregnancy and like being pregnant and stuff like that. But I mean, there is some facts that I've learned that I kind of just feel like is very interesting. So nothing that I've experienced that is like, you know, surprising to me or very unexpected. More like, you know, I didn't know that your body produces up to like 50% more volume of blood. So like, I knew like your heart was beating faster, but you don't just, you know, increase your heart rate, you also increase the blood volume, but almost 50% towards the end of pregnancy, which I didn't know. And that's also why you get like a lot of your symptoms. And that's also why like I kept getting migraines, my midwife told me, because you basically dehydrate really easily because blood is made out of a lot of water, which is why you also need to drink a lot more water when you're pregnant. Well, one of the reasons. So stuff like that has been really interesting to learn. But yeah, nothing like super unexpected yet, I would say. So it's been a great experience, honestly, so far. Yes, it's been hard. First trimester was definitely hard, and I feel like now I'm past it. I'm kind of used to like the thought of it, and I'll be like, oh, that was fine. But I remember being in it, it was super difficult, and maybe like the fatigue was just, I've obviously heard about it, but I didn't expect it to hit me that hard. I guess maybe that's it. But again, it was things that I expected, but maybe I didn't expect them to hit me that hard, if that makes sense. We have a couple more questions to go. We have, how has your dog reacted to your pregnancy? Is she acting any different? So she definitely, I feel like, knew before we did. I didn't test because of her, but it did kind of, you know, cross my mind when I went to test, because I was like, she has been very clingy with me, and she has, even now, she sleeps on me all the time. I feel like normally when I film now, she lays on the floor with me, like she's just more close to me. Now she's actually locked out of the room with my partner, and he's home now, so she's with him. But in general, I feel like she just wants to be around me more, and she sleeps on me like all the time. She wants to cuddle me all the time, and she's always been a cuddly dog, so it's not like completely going from not wanting to be near me at all to super cuddly. And she wants to lay like on me versus kind of, you know, coming up and cuddle every now and then. So that's like the main thing. But yeah, I feel like she definitely has acted different, and I feel like she's definitely knew before we did. So my camera needed to cool down for a bit, so what I did, I just went and did my mascara, lashes and brows. That's it. But we're going to continue with the rest of the makeup. Any questions next? The next one is, what are you most excited for? So it's hard because obviously I'm excited for a lot of things. I think the thing that I'm absolutely most excited for is just to meet them, to see personality, what they look like. But yeah, I think mainly it's personality, to see like what this little human is like. I think that's what I'm most excited for, just also kind of experiencing that type of love, you know, because everyone explains having children as like a whole different type of love, like you never had anything like it. I think also just experiencing that I'm really excited for, but mainly just to see who this little human is. Yeah, that's, in simple words, is probably what I'm most excited for. Then we have, has your fiance been amazing? And you can probably guess who wrote that, who asked that question. Guess, well, that was of course Mike, my fiance. He has been amazing. He has been very supportive. I know that, for example, due to my tiredness and stuff like that, I haven't been doing as much like housework and taking the dog out as much. So he's just been taking all of that load off my shoulders, which has been lovely. You know, he's been so excited from day one. He hasn't had a single day where he's been like, you know, stressing or being like anxious, in the sense of, I mean, I think he is of course a little bit anxious, and I think a lot of guys, you know, might not connect as well, I guess, with their baby, because I have started feeding them cake, which has been such a lovely thing as well. But I think it's harder for guys sometimes to connect with the pregnancy, just because they don't have the physical changes. They can't feel the baby, at least not in the beginning. Actually though, Mike did feel them kick for the first time this morning actually, which is super lovely. So such a good day to film this. But even though all of those things, he's just been amazing and so excited from day one. So yeah, he has been very supportive. So my ego is definitely going to be boosted from that question, but yeah, that's the truth. So that was the next question. I have a couple more to go. The next one is, what are you most nervous about? And they said, I have a deep fear of giving birth. That's what they said. Of course, I'm a little bit scared of giving birth. Like, I feel like that's just natural. But I think also is another thing that I'm most nervous about is, again, of course, the birth, but also just the postpartum process. Because I feel like with like the birth, I know that's going to be difficult. And I think that's something that is kind of well known to be a bit of a, you know, hard thing with having a baby. But because of that, I also feel like I know more about it. You know, I've watched again a lot of birth stories, things like that. So I feel like it does scare me and I'm a little bit nervous about it, and of course I'm gonna have to do more research about it before actually going to labor myself and like make sure that I'm fully prepared. But I think just the postpartum is also gonna like nervous about, just again what to expect, how sore it will be, the bleeding, all of that kind of stuff. So that is definitely something as well that I'm a little bit nervous about. But of course the thing that is making me most anxious, well, I'm not really that anxious, honestly. I'm very, very calm in this pregnancy, but something that is definitely making me nervous is of course something happening to baby or happening to me. That would of course be the first thing. But you know, fingers crossed. So far everything's been going perfectly, so knock on wood. Everything's gonna continue going well. We have a couple more questions to go. We're on question 15 out of 18. So the next one is, how do you think your content will change once you have your baby or have a baby? So of course I think it will change a little bit. I think maybe I won't upload as often, just because, you know, I won't have the time. I will probably be tired. So I'm expecting not to be able to post like every other day, although recently I've been posting a bit more. Well, recently, very infrequently. In February I have been a bit off. I've been busy, had a bit of an energy dip, things like that. So it's been harder already, but I think definitely that's gonna affect. I try to post every other day, but again, we'll see how it changes throughout. But I do think my number of videos is going to go down, but otherwise I don't think I'm going to change my content. Like, you know, I've been doing a couple pregnancy videos, this is my second one, so maybe I'll do something related to, like, you know, birth story, or a couple maybe like newborn things if you want to see it. So let me know if you do, because I don't want to post things that you don't like watching, even though I like watching again, pregnancy related things and birth stories and stuff like that. Doesn't mean you guys do, so let me know if you do like it and if you do want to see it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep my content most of the same, probably just a bit more infrequent for a while until I get my new routine in order. And then a similar-ish question is, do you think your projects will be a bit hard to keep up with once you have a baby? And yes, I do think they will probably be harder to keep up with, just because I won't be wearing makeup as frequently. So that is definitely something that is going to affect it. So I'm just picking my corner highlight if I'm looking down. But yeah, that's going to be affecting it. Maybe my progress will slow down. I probably won't be doing such intricate looks like today. You know, this is going to take quite a while to do this look, so it might be more like one and done eyeshadow looks. If I do eyeshadow looks, for example, I might not do a full base makeup, things like that. So I think my progress will slow down, and will probably be, you know, not the greatest progress on some of my projects. Also, again, tying back to not uploading it often. Some of them I might have an update, you know, after 2 months rather than 1, especially like in that kind of first month or 2. But we'll see. I'm going to try to keep it as close as I can, but I do expect, of course, my progress to slow down in my projects, and I think that's just natural. Okay, so 2 more questions to go. What are you most excited about when it comes to having a baby? I already kind of covered that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same as what are you most excited for, so I already covered that. And that means we are at the last question, which is, are you tired? How are you feeling? Does the pregnancy make you more careful around beauty items and their ingredients? So we cover a couple questions in one. Are you tired? Yes, I kind of mentioned that already. I am a bit more tired than normal, but I think now my energy is mostly back. But yes, I have been a bit more tired, and I do feel good, like I said as well. Feeling much better than I have so far in pregnancy, so very, very good overall. So nothing really to complain about. And then, does the pregnancy make you more careful about beauty items and their ingredients? And yes and no. Well, not for the most part. Like, I don't check my ingredients on my like everyday makeup, like makeup and skincare and things like that. For strong ingredient products, yes. I mean, again, I knew already before, for example, that vitamin A products, so strong like retin-A, tretinoin and things like that, but also even use retinols. I know it's bad in pregnancy. Some people say it's fine because of, you know, it's just topical. And I was kind of like on that train before. Like I was like, oh, you know, I'll probably continue using it. But since becoming pregnant, I have kind of changed a little bit. I feel like for me, it's just not worth it risking it. So because of that, I think I've been a bit more careful. Same with like, I did use an eyelash serum before, which I stopped using. And I know as well that's pretty strong ingredients. So I checked if that was okay. And again, it was kind of not recommended. You know, it wasn't like, definitely don't use it, but it wasn't like tested for safe for like pregnant women. So I have been a bit more careful with specific ingredients, which I know are very strong. But, you know, with our moisturizer or even like hyaluronic acid, things like that, I think that I know they're quite mild ingredients, and I haven't, again, looked at every single ingredient on my products, so a little bit more careful, but also not kind of overly careful, if that makes sense. So I think with that, that is the last question. So I'm going to take down my hair. I am very excited. I'm excited to share with you. Before I take off the filter, I was going to say leave your guesses down below, but if you go to the comment section, you probably will see what I'm having, so maybe don't. Or you can leave a comment without trying to read what everyone else has said. But are you guys ready? I'm so excited to share with you. So again, blue would be boy, pink would be girl for my eye look. But I'm going to take off the filter in 3, 2, 1. We're having a girl. So we're having a baby girl. I'm so excited. Again, I would have been 100% happy either way, and I was definitely leaning towards the boy more. I think I mentioned that in my last video, because I feel like a lot of people around us have girls. Like my sister has 2 girls, 2 of my close friends have 2 girls each. At work, most people have had girls. I think there's a couple boys, but mainly girls from people I know. My colleague had a girl. So a lot of baby girls around us. Although Mike had 2 friends who had babies last year, and both of them had boys, to be fair, so it's evening the scales a little bit. But I think just due to my mathematical brain, I was like, statistically it feels like it's going to be a boy. So that was my first inkling. However, when I started feeling her kick, so now I can see her, when I started feeling her move, or when I like was kind of in that early stage, was like, oh, is that movement, is it not? My brain said, like, to myself, like when I had that thought pop into my head, it was like, oh, is that her kicking, or she's kicking? And I was like, oh, maybe, you know, they are kicking. I had to correct myself, but my brain said she, which was very interesting. So that's the only thing that I've had kind of made me think like, oh, maybe it is a girl. But also, again, I think maybe it's because when I was younger, I always envisioned myself having a girl, just because I think I've always been a girly girl. So maybe, you know, I also tried to explain it as that, just, you know, that's kind of like what I expected when I was younger. But like I said, we would have been very happy either way. We did kind of also, you know, say that if we would have had to force to pick one, we would have said 51% girl, 49% boy. So we're both very, very happy, and I can't wait to meet her. So that is going to be it for my kind of question and gender reveal video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you are excited. Let me know in the comments if you were right with your guesses, or, you know, anything like that. Also, like I said, name wise, we are still picking names. So if you have any name suggestions, let me know in the comments. Like, I'm doing all the research, watching so many videos on baby names, so if you have any baby names, recommendations, anything like that, let me know as well down below. But otherwise, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.